All right, guys, I'm David Holder, and here we go again. We wanted to give you the next scenario. We've done stuff with you guys about hunting opening day. We've done stuff for you guys about using decoys and different setups and things like that. But now let's talk a little bit about when it really gets tough. And there's a couple of things that will take place at this time, and that is, one, you could just say it's late season turkey hunting. The other one would be pressured birds. And sometimes that pressure can come early in the season, and basically it's like you're hunting late season. So I kind of combat those things the same way. And that is, one is we have a setup that we love, and that's typically like using 3 decoys. I use a tom or a jake, and I use an upright hen or a feeding hen, and then I have a lay down hen. And that's kind of our go-to decoy special, until the birds start getting a little more weary. The first time that you call a bird in and he kind of goes around your decoys and you don't think it's a chicken bird, you're pretty sure that, hey, this bird could have been called to by a neighbor or by someone else hunting the public land you're hunting. As soon as I see that happen, I know it's time to change my whole setup. And what I mean by that is, what we will do sometimes is eliminate decoys 100%. Okay, I've seen all kinds of scenarios where birds will come in, and then as soon as they see the decoy, because they've already seen the decoy set up from somewhere else, either from you or from someone else, they'll avoid it. However, if you don't have decoys there, you also cut back on the amount of calling you do. Okay, you want a bird to respond, you want to hear him gobble, or you want to see him and know he's coming into your direction, and then as soon as he is, you want to shut up. And the reason is because you're hoping that he comes in, and he won't come in on a string like when you have a decoy set up there and you're calling and they just follow in and they key in on that decoy and come right to it. What they'll do is they'll come in and they'll start looking for that hen. They don't need to get right next to her, so a lot of times they might start out at 50 yards, 60 yards, but they may pass back and forth. Your patience got to be like on the highest level when it comes to late season turkeys. And I mean that with all sincerity. I don't care whether you still use your decoys, because a lot of times I'll go back to my decoys. If I think that I've got birds that have been pressured, but I think they've been left alone for a while, either I left them alone and I knew no one else could get to them, or I go to a place where I just feel like, hey, I haven't seen anyone hunting this public ground for a chunk, a long chunk of time, then I might go back to a decoy. But I can tell you right now, as the season goes on, I'm cutting back on the amount of calling I'm doing. And we're going to show you a couple different scenarios. One, I killed this bird on the last day of the season. Now you're going to see I still got my own. I had 2 of the 3 decoys. I had a half strut jake and I got a hen. But this bird was stuck in a tree. This is the last day of the Iowa season. This is like May 20 something. And he gets stuck in the tree because of the weather. Never gobbled a single time. So those guys out there going, well, my birds do this or that. And I called to him, and when he answered me, he knew where we were. I felt like he could even see the decoy. You're going to see how tall the grass is. When he got on the ground with his buddies, I don't think they could see the decoy, but he knew where it was from being in that tree. But I had also not called to him for about 2 hours. 2 hours just watching this turkey in a tree, and then waited for him to pitch down and do his thing. And he comes over and I get a shot. The other one is I just went to a hen. I just have one single hen decoy out there. A lot of times these toms, they'll get to where they're tired of beating on each other. They've been beat up, but you'll see some things change too. Someone might kill a certain turkey and kills the top gobbler in the area, and a new one moves in and takes over. So you can still get away with using your decoys, but I wish that I could stand here and tell you there is a foolproof plan that you can use, and there's not. You're going to have to kind of listen to the turkeys, and what I mean by listen to them is listen to what they're telling you and accommodate what they are looking for. So, and then the last tip I would tell you, that when it comes to hunting birds in late season, is start thinking seriously about hunting later in the day. I find that a lot of these birds, what ends up happening is late in the season, more and more of the hens are going to roost and are going to sit on their nest, and they leave these toms in the middle of the day. Mornings cannot be as effective, because what's happening is they're all together at that point, toms pitch down, but the hens leave them pretty quick. You'll start seeing more and more hens out on their own, which means there's more and more toms on their own, but it's different. It's more in the middle of the day. So keep that in mind. Middle of the day gets better. Check your decoys before you go hunt them, and cut back on how much you're calling. And coming from me, that's something being said, because I love to call, but I will cut back on how much I call to these turkeys when it gets to late season. Hope these tips help you, because we want to see you kill a turkey and send a picture to us.